How's it going? It's Sam from Gazelle Sports in Grand Rapids. We're here to do another boot review. A couple new boots from Nike. Got the Superfly V, Hypervenom Alright, let's get started. So, we'll start here with the Hypervenom Phantom II reissue. So, the reissue is different than the Hypervenom Phantom II because they reintroduced the old honeycomb upper from Hypervenom 1. You guys may have noticed that a lot of people were complaining about the stiffness of the original upper from the Hypervenom 2. So they actually reintroduced the first upper, which is kind of a nice addition. It does soften the boot up quite a bit, and it's nice to see that upper come back because it was one of my personal favorites. A couple details here. We're looking at $275 for the price tag, so it's the same as the original. But they've also introduced in the upper these mag wires. So mag wires are similar to fly wires, more specific to soccer because it helps lock down your midfoot. So that's a nice addition as well, because that was a big issue with Hypervenom 1. There's a lot of blowouts and a lot of instability through the midfoot. So if you guys flip it over to the bottom, you can see that they have this patterned stud plate. It's the same as Hypervenom 1, Hypervenom 2, so the reissue is the exact same. But you'll notice in each box that it comes with one of these little tags that talks about how this finish will kind of flake off during play. It doesn't affect the integrity of the stud plate at all, it just flakes off and it loses some of the appeal. Alright, so I've got the Phantom 2 reissues now on my feet. It's a very familiar feel. I actually played in version 1 when I was in college, so it's nice to feel that old upper come back. It is noticeably softer right out of the box. So I'm just going to work my way down and kind of talk about what I'm feeling here. So collar, very familiar with as far as the Nike dynamic fit collars go. Holding my ankle nice and snug, it's not restricting, not causing me any discomfort at all. And I don't notice, you guys can see here that there's a little bit of a cutout right where the tongue would be. That's all fly knit, so that's really soft. I don't feel that transition at all. So I don't feel those ridges, I don't feel anything like that. It just feels like a one-piece upper, so I don't notice the two different materials coming together there. Sole plate feels nice. There's a little bit of pressure coming from the outside of my foot, probably along right there on that stud, but again, I'm standing on carpet, on grass, I'm not going to feel that at all. Sole plate feels nice and firm, but flexible up through the midfoot here. Yeah, really nice. It keeps the boot fast, but also makes it nice so that I can transition and turn really easily. Alright, last but not least, we have version 5 of the Mercurial Superfly. So this boot comes in at $300, a little price change from the previous version, but it's for a good reason. So this is a top to bottom redesign for the Superfly line. I think that Nike's really hit it on the head with this version here. So totally redesigned fly knit upper, still uses fly knit, so you guys won't be disappointed with that. So a few things that they did to change it: they made the collar fit a little bit more snug. I'll mention that a little bit later when it's on my feet. But as you can see through here, the entire shape of the boot has changed, and that's because Nike has gone to a more of an anatomical fit. So it's going to be more similar to your foot shape. It's just going to fit the structure of your foot a lot better. And I can tell you personally that the shape is a lot better than version 4. So a couple of things. They've also added this texturing in here. They call these their speed ribs. This is going to be for a better touch on the ball, a little bit more control. It's actually just raised lines of fly knit. So that's sewn straight into the upper. It's still one piece. So it's nice to have that texturing added in. They still incorporate fly wires, even though they're a little bit tougher to see, so you're going to get that midfoot lockdown. And if you flip it over to the bottom, you're going to see a totally redesigned sole plate. This is really nice. It's 40% lighter than the previous sole plate, so that drops the weight of this boot down from 7.1 to 6.7 ounces, which is a huge weight decrease considering that this was already a really lightweight boot to begin with. You can see chevron-shaped studs. And the next part about these is that they're mapped out on the bottom of the boot so that it's not causing any pressure points. You can see that they've changed the shape of the bottom. They did that by making a one-piece outsole so that you guys can see the carbon fiber's gone away, which is a little bit nicer. You get a little bit more rigidity through the midfoot, and then a little bit nicer flexibility for the forefoot where you need it. Alright, so I wanted to mention quickly about the socks that I'm wearing. These are CEP Compression Socks. These make a really great liner sock, especially if you guys are a player who likes to wear two socks. You wear this one underneath. It's going to give you medical grade compression in your ankle and in the bottom of your foot. And it's really nice if you're dealing with any pain in any of those areas. So with that, let's jump right into the review here. As you can see, I've got the Superfly 5 on my feet. And I think this is a fantastic update for the Superfly line from Nike. The shape is 1,000 times better than it was before. It's really hitting every curve and nuance of my foot, and it's extremely soft. So that Flyknit upper, they've softened it up a little bit, but the biggest difference that I noticed is coming from the stud plate alone. This boot, as you guys know, is built for straight line speed, so that flexibility here is key, but really nice and rigid through the midfoot from the heel up, almost right up to like kind of the ball of my feet. But I don't notice the studs at all. It doesn't even feel like I'm wearing a studded boot right now, which is crazy comfortable. I'm a huge fan. I don't notice the ribbing at all that we have here, those speed ribs that they've added to the outside. I think all that texture goes outward, which is nice because it makes it nice and smooth against my foot. But I know it's going to have that added benefit when I get onto the pitch. Alright, that concludes our review of Hypervenom and Superfly. If you guys have any more questions, make sure you stop into the store if you can, or hit us up on Twitter or Instagram. We'll try and answer any questions that you guys have. Make sure you hit that like button below and that subscribe if you haven't already, so that we can help you complete your game.
You can also see and feel the texture from the traditional Magista, but with the leather sewn on, so it's going to have a more natural fit and feel. Also, we have the Brio.